What is up, everyone? Welcome to Reality Room Podcast with Paul, bringing you the latest on Survivor Ghost Island Episode 2, which just aired tonight. Okay, so first off, you guys are probably going to notice that I'm by myself today. That's because Dave lost power at his home this evening because of the storm that's happening in New York. So let's give a prayer to Dave down below, please. All right, but anyway, let's just jump right into the episode. So we just came off of a tribal council where we had, was it Jacob who got voted out? I believe it was Jacob that got voted out, and he was blindsided because he thought that he had, he thought he had an alliance basically. So what happens is they get back to camp, and James had a few votes on him too, so he was kind of like a little rattled. But he kind of understood why they threw some votes at him, and he basically says in his little confessional, like, "Yeah, I really deserved to get some votes there. I deserved to be the second one to go if he didn't play an idol. If he played an idol, then James would have been the one that went home. Basically, is what I'm trying to get at here. By the way, guys, if you want to chat down below, please feel free to do so. If you have any questions for me, any thoughts on the episode, thoughts on what's going to happen in the future, let me know, and I will read them out loud. Okay, so back to the game. So let's see. They all get together, both tribes, and we're getting a tribe swap. Now, this is a very, very quick tribe swap. I mean, we've seen this happen before in Survivor, where they do these tribe swaps very early. Mainly, I'm talking about Game Changers, when they basically did one at around the same time. Maybe that's going to be a consistent thing from now on in seasons where we have 20 cast members. Survivor, where they do these. Whoops. Watching myself live there. So the tribes basically switched. So let's get into who the tribes are now at this point. So the new Malolo tribe, we have Jenna, Stephanie, Brendan, Michael, Desiree, Sebastian, Bradley, Kellen, and Chelsea. Okay, so that's our new Malolo tribe. And our new Naviti tribe is Dominic, Chris, Donathan, Laurel, James, Angela, Wendell, Libby, and Morgan. I see we have Granny pegging the swap. Tribe swap was too early, but it made for a great twist. It really was an early one. I'm a little weary of the early tribe swaps, only because I don't think it's enough time for the tribes mates to build personal connections with one another. Though I guess I could be wrong there, because it looks like a lot of them were trying to, at least in the Malolo tribe, are really trying to stick with their core group, which I thought was interesting. I mean, in the Naviti tribe, all hell basically broke loose. But other than that, it definitely was an interesting twist. And it might be a consistent thing from now on, because we did see this happen in Game Changers as well after the first 2 votes. So maybe it was 3 at that point. I don't remember. I think it was 2, but I think they broke down to 3 tribes back then. So I guess it's I guess that's a different thing. All right, so back to the episode. So basically, we have a majority here basically taking place, where the Naviti tribe holds a 5-4 advantage. The old Naviti tribe has a 5-4 advantage on both of the tribes, which basically means that if all of them were to stick together, I see we have Catherine in the chat saying hi. Hey, Catherine, how you doing? And we have Trop13 in the chat as well. How are you doing as well? I'm doing good. The old Naviti tribe have a 5-4 advantage on both of the tribes right now. Now, if you were like an old school player or even like a mid school player, maybe you'd be thinking, okay, this is basically they're basically all going to try to pick off the other side. But that's not necessarily what I think is going to happen. That's also not necessarily what happened in this episode, and we'll get to that. So let's jump into the new Malolo tribe. Let me just open up my notes here. All right. So first off, Kellen does have that mindset. She does want to knock out all the old Malolo tribe members. And honestly, I mean, it makes sense when you have the numbers. It really does. When you have a tight group of people, it does make sense to have that little to try to maintain your group. So it makes sense on her end to say that. Sebastian's happy about the switch. He's not concerned. He sees all of his trends on this tribe, so he's not unhappy with it. Bradley did a lot of complaining. Catherine says, "I like you." Okay, I like you too. Bradley says that Bradley was complaining about the new tribe. In fact, there was a lot of people complaining about the Malolo tribe. They were complaining. Brendan was explaining like the shelter situation, how it was a little uncomfortable, it was a little bumpy. Things weren't 100% set up yet. And basically, they were all complaining about it a little bit. They were like, oh, things were so much better back at Navidi, and yada, yada, yada. I mean, it didn't really help them. It didn't really hurt them during the challenge today because Malolo ended up winning, but I don't know. It is what it is. Anyway, back to the game. Bradley was complaining a lot too, and he was the one that was complaining the most. And Brendan was specifically kind of upset with him for doing all this complaining. He was like, "Okay, this is Survivor. You're supposed to be expecting these tribe switches and all that." I feel bad for Bradley. He's a super fan. The first thing Survivor shows is him complaining. Yeah, I know. But if that's what he's doing, then that's what he's doing, I mean, it's not really feeling bad for. It's if he's complaining, then he's complaining. Because if that's what's making waves in the tribe right now, then that's what's important to show. Granny Peg says Bradley was a big baby, missed his luxuries from old tribe. Yeah, I know. I mean, you're playing Survivor. You should not have this expectation that luxuries are going to be that luxuries are infinite. In Survivor, everything's finite, including your torch. Including your time in the game is finite too. Like, you're not guaranteed anything. Things can switch at any moment, and honestly, things aren't bad for him. His old tribe holds the majority in this new Malolo tribe. So him complaining is just, I don't know. I think it's bizarre. All right. Anyway, we have Stephanie trying to look for cracks in the old Navidi tribe, in the new Malolo tribe. Trap 13 says, I did find him annoying. Yeah, I mean, it was annoying. Again, it's just how they edited him. But that's also what made waves in the tribe. So we have to think of it in like two perspectives. One, it's not necessarily he's not necessarily doing this all the time. He has other aspects to him. Like you said, he is a super fan, so he does have these other aspects. I'm sure he has other, like personality traits other than complaining, and we have to understand that this was important enough to show in the episode because it made waves with Brendan, for instance, and it made waves with the Malolo tribe, basically because they were kind of annoyed at this Bradley kid. Okay. So Stephanie was looking for cracks. She wasn't really able to find any, at least from what I saw. So Jenna and Stephanie then go on and look for the idol. And then Jenna and Stephanie turn into Mike and Brendan as well. And then we have Mike finding the immunity idol with Brendan there, basically. And it's James's old immunity idol from Survivor China. So that was a fun little tidbit. So we should have another one of these. Or does Dominic have that one? No. Dominic doesn't have that one. Dominic has Andreas. Okay, so yeah, so we find one of two James idols, which I thought was a fun little thing. Chris tried from start to control his little group from the start. He did, and I'm gonna get to the Navidi tribe right now to talk about that a little bit. But anyway, but before that, Mike does find the immunity idol, which is like a dream come true for him. You have to realize this kid's like 19 years old, or I forgot his exact age. I think it was 19. So he's a very young guy, goes off day 7 or 8 and finds an immunity idol. I mean, he's got to be feeling like top of the world right now. since China was the first season he watched. It was very, very nice. Love that they found that old idol. I know. It was nice. I liked it a lot. All right, so Navidi tribe. Let's jump to Navidi. The Malolo tribe were like, wow, the old Malolo tribe on the new Navidi. That's a mouthful, ain't it? But basically like, wow, this is such a nicer camp than the Malolo camp. And so they were like enjoying the view, and it was just like a little nice little couple of minutes before Chris starts rounding the troops up, like Peggy said in the chat. Mike was 18, told he's 23. Right. Okay, so he's 18, and he told everyone he was 23. Because we don't want a will situation here where everyone just assumes you're like a kid trying to prove himself or whatever for millennials versus Gen X. So yeah, Chris starts rounding the troops. He talks to Angela. He's basically like, okay, look, we have the majority right now, but I still don't trust Dominic. I don't trust that son of a gun from day whatever, from day one, really. So he wants to round up the old Malolo tribe and blindside Dominic, which I guess really wouldn't be a blindside because I guess he would be expecting it, but it's neither here nor there. So Chris and Angela go and talk to Libby about this. Libby and James, and really just Chris was doing the talking, and he was basically Libby was shocked to hear it. She felt, these were her words, that she just had to nod and smile at what Chris was saying. I don't know. Angela wasn't too keen on Chris's idea either. He says she said that he didn't like Chris's authoritative attitude and way of going about things. I don't know. I mean, we saw an emotional side of Chris later, which basically tells us that he's going to get far as a viewer. But other than that, it's not looking like Chris's like talks are going over well with the Malolo tribe, at least from my perspective. So then Morgan and Dominic have a talk, and they're basically like, okay, look, we know Chris is still after you, Dom. So we have to like round up the troops before Chris does. So Morgan says right off the bat that she likes Libby, likes her a lot. So Morgan has a conversation with Libby, and she's basically like, yeah, listen, we're both Christian girls, Catholic girls, whatever they said. I think it was Christian girls, both true to our faith. We should stick together. And, Libby was really down for that. She was like, yeah, we both hold true to our faith. We both, we're both fans of the game. So they were sticking together at that point. How long did that last? All right. So anyway, Libby and Morgan vibed together. Catholic girls. It was Catholic, not Christian. Not that there is a big difference, but since Catholicism is a branch of Christianity. All right. Anyway, so immunity challenge. I'm not going to talk about the challenge too much. More going to talk about the results. It was up and down for both tribes during the whole thing. At the end, during the puzzle, we had Bradley and Kellen working on their puzzle, and Wendell and Laurel working on the puzzle for Navidi, and Bradley and Kellen for Malolo. And Malolo was able to win this one, which was good for them because I think that was the first win for Malolo. Right? Yeah, that's right. Granny Peg says Libby is a big surprise. She really was a big surprise this episode. I don't know how I feel about her decision. I'm still mulling it over, but by the time I get to the end of this episode, I will have my thoughts put together. So Malolo wins. They get a tarp, and the Malolo tribe actually cannot agree unanimously on who they want to send to Ghost Island, because the tribes are split still, and they all have their mentality of who they want to send. So they draw rocks for it, and the drawing of rocks basically comes down to randomness, and Chris gets the rock, which is ironic because Chris was the target. How do you like them apples, huh? So Chris was the target for Dom, at least. Not necessarily the target for everyone else. So Chris goes to Ghost Island. Let's talk about that Ghost Island experience, because this is where Chris starts to develop his story. Okay, now as we know in Survivor, stories are important. If you have a story, there's a greater chance you're going to make it further in this game. Now, I don't know how true that's going to be this season, because we can only go based on what we've seen in previous seasons. But Chris basically has like a meltdown on Ghost Island. He says this was like the first tough day that he's had here. And he's really channeling his mother's spirit. His mother had I believe it was I forget what the disease was. So sorry for messing this up a little bit, but she had like this rare disease where she had 2 months to live when she was like younger, and when he was younger, but she persevered, and she's still alive to this day. And he just wants to channel her spirit into the game. He also got no special advantage when he broke the thing at Ghost Island. That vote to play rocks was not good, in my opinion. Showed no tribe unity. Yeah, and then that's going to be an issue, because these people are going to be in a tribe way longer than the initial setup tribes. At least in my opinion, I don't think they're going to be switching tribes up again in like an episode. No, it's probably not going to be another tribe swap for another 3 or 4 episodes at least. So really, this is where you should start like making bonds with one another. So I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens. Chris' mom has MS. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, so let's get back to the Navidi tribe and what they're deciding to do for this vote. This vote is so confusing, okay? There was like a lot of different plans going on. So Chris at Ghost Island really wanted Dominic to be blindsided. That's what he wanted deep down. And he wanted it to be like a unanimous vote. That's what he wanted. Okay, so right off the bat, we have Angela. Who did she talk to? Angela doesn't want Dom to go, wants to vote out Libby. Okay, that's all I wrote down. I don't know who Angela was talking to. I think she was talking to Morgan and Dom, maybe. And she's basically like, listen, Chris wants to go after... Oh, no. I think she was talking to Wendell. I think it was Wendell. Anyway, she basically says that, hey, Chris wants to go after Dom, but I don't want to go after Dom. I want our tribe to stay strong, and I want us to vote out Libby. So that's what Angela wants to do. And I was like, okay, cool. That makes sense to me. Then Wendell wants to go after... Right, but then Wendell says that he'd rather go after Angela because she is Chris's right-hand girl in this game. At least that's his opinion. It was Wendell. Okay, thank you, Trop. So then Dominic, Morgan, Dominic and Morgan and Wendell, they have to decide. They decide to go after Angela. So they talk to the Malolo tribe, and they're basically like, hey, look, here's the fake idol. Oh, I also forgot to mention that Chris told James and Libby that Dom had an immunity idol. So then Dom shows everyone in the Malolo tribe the fake idol that he showed to Chris, the one with the shell. He's like, yeah, this is a fake idol. This is what I showed to him. I lied to him about it. And then Morgan was part of that convo, part of that girl convo. Okay, so Morgan was part of that convo. Okay, cool. Thanks. Right, so Dom shows them the fake immunity idol in a means to build trust with the old Malolo tribe. And it doesn't really work. James gets this impression that Dom is very similar to Russell Hantz. Now, I don't see it like that. I don't know. I just don't. He says there's something sketchy about Dom, which mind you, is very similar to what Chris was thinking about Dom as well. So he wants to, instead, he wants to blindside Morgan. Because if Angela's not voting with the Navidi tribe and it's just those three voting for Angela, then those four control the votes. Yeah. Crazy stuff. And so they go to tribal council, and Libby was like thinking about the idea. She was like, okay, I'm not sure if I want to go up to Morgan because I trust Morgan. They vibe together, both being Catholic girls. So when they get to tribal council, we kind of left up in the air. Now, nothing they really said during tribal council set off any red flags, in my opinion. It was all basically them covering their own asses, saying, "Yeah, I'm sticking with my side. I'm sticking with their side." Yada yada yada. The same old nonsense. And then they're like, "Oh, but I've been trying to reach out to the other side. Hey, let's shake hands and whatnot." James was too paranoid. He was too paranoid, but this also put him in a better position. And I will get to that after the vote. So the vote came down, and it was one vote for Libby, which was Angela. We had the three votes. We had the three votes for Angela, which were the old Navidi tribe, and then we had the 4 votes for Morgan, which were the old Malolo tribe. And so Morgan gets blindsided. And then she wills the legacy advantage to Dom. So right now, Dom's the most powerful player in this game. He has an immunity idol, and he has a legacy advantage. So honestly, really good for him. I believe Navidi should try to stay together because it is 5-4. They get rid of another Navidi 4-4, adding Ghost Island as a possibility of being 3-4, with then Malolo wipe the rest of the Navidi out. Well, it's 4-4 now on the Navidi tribe. Because Morgan's gone, it's 4-4. On Malolo, it's 5-4 Navidi still, but on Navidi, it's 4-4. So it's a tough position. Now, let me explain to you why I think this was a good move on James's part, even though it's maybe not necessarily a good move, but a move that will inadvertently improve his game. So it will improve James's game because he still has his 4 people with him. Now he's basically guaranteed to have Angela on his side, and plus Chris wanted to go after Dom in the first place. So Dom is probably so Chris is probably with them too. So they basically secured, if they do it right, James secured a 6-person alliance. That's pretty substantial if he does it right. It all depends on what they do next episode. If James goes and talks to Angela, everything should be fine. If they explain to Chris Conley what happened, then they have a 6-person alliance and they're good to go. So it would be a good move on James's part. Honestly, a 6-person alliance is way better than an 8-person alliance. You know why an 8-person alliance is not good? Well, I guess it would have been a 7-person alliance and going after Chris. Yeah, 6-person alliance is still better than 7 because once you get to the 7, someone still has to go. That was a good move for James. Yeah, I know. It definitely was a good move for James. He knew what he was doing. So now we can have 4 people be like the main part of his alliance and have Angela and Chris be on the bottom. And that's exactly what they need. So that's how James turned it all around this episode. They flipped it on the old Navidi tribe and they basically got to where they needed to be. I see Patty's in the chat. Hey, Patty, how you doing? Also, he gets rid of whatever alliance Libby had with Morgan. Exactly. He didn't really know about it too much, except for the fact that Libby was trying to talk them out of voting Morgan out. But by the end, she basically concluded that it was best for her game. Good logic on 6-person alliance. Yeah, I mean, they have the 6-person alliance now. Now, next episode, it looks like Dom's going to try some stuff. Looks like he's trying to talk to Laurel, telling her that he has an idol and all that stuff. Which, hey, could work, could not work, but we'll see what happens. Also, statistically, if there's a 6-person alliance and one of the 6 gets sent, to Ghost Island, they still have the majority because they only have 2 people right now. There's only 2 people that would be supporting on the other side. Yeah, I'm doing my math right. Okay, cool. So it's basically a 6-2 dynamic right now if they play it right. We'll see what Angela and Chris decide to do next episode. Though I expect they'll be with the old Malolo tribe. Never tell who you. Yeah, I know. Never tell people you have an idol. I know it's not a good move, but when you're in a desperate position, Dom had to do it. Plus, he has a legacy advantage, so he can afford to let someone in on one of his secrets. We'll see what happens there. Yeah, so I guess we'll call it there. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, and subscribe down below. Also, please subscribe to our channel if you are not already subscribed, because YouTube has changed its policy recently, making it so you need 1,000 subscribers to be monetized. So our channel is no longer monetized on YouTube. So please help get us to 1,000 subscribers so we can re-monetize our channel. If you want to support us in other ways, like if you're already subscribed and already love us, please check out our Patreon down below. If you donate $3 or more a month, we will personally shout out your name at the end of every episode. And speaking of shout outs, I'd like to give a shout out to Patty, Peggy, and Peter for supporting our channel. I want to thank you guys so much for helping support me, Dave, and Chris, and really all of Reality Room Podcast on everything that we're doing, and help keeping us afloat. I mean, honestly, it's been a hell of a 2 years for us, and I'm happy to keep going, and I love doing these recaps. Thanks for a good recap of the show. No, thank you for your support. All right, and I guess we'll end it there. Thumbs up if you like it. Thumbs down if you don't. Until next time, peace.